She's been stirring up drama on CBS's newest soap opera, but tonight she's spilling the tea as we go behind the gates with Trisha Mann-Grant here on More Please. Hey everybody, it's me, your host, Tony Moore. Joining me tonight is a Renaissance woman who has worn many hats in this industry. You know her as Leslie or Dana or Sherry from CBS's newest soap opera, Beyond the Gates. Please help me welcome the incredibly talented Miss Trisha Mann-Grant. Trisha, how you doing tonight?
Hello, I am amazing and happy to be here with you, Tony.
Oh,
sometimes I may call you Tony. You know,
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Tony Montana.
Tony Montana.
This is truly an honor to be sitting here with you because I have been watching Beyond the Gates since it started. And the character of Leslie, girl, she puts us through it. But I define her as that character that you love to hate sometimes. Like you sometimes you're like, girl, and then sometimes you're like, okay, I get it.
It's like, why? It's like, why are you doing this now? You know, people literally cuss me out on the TV, you know. Somebody put up a post the other day and I forgot it. You know, I sit down and I say, which bee are you talking about? She said, you bee, you. She posted this and tagged me. I said, I can feel the hate through the phone, but Leslie loves you for watching. I tell everybody that, all the folks that hate Leslie, I love you for watching. Thank you, babies. Thank you.
Listen, it's taking us back to the days when we would watch it with our grandmama and she'd be like, I know he didn't.
Right. I don't know what you watch, but my grandma watched General Hospital, One Life to Live, and All My Children. So
yes, my mother watched soap operas, and she was an ABC woman. She watched General Hospital, One Life to Live, All My Children. She was that. Now, I stumbled into Days of Our Lives. That's my soap opera. But now I said, baby, I got to add Beyond the Gates because I got to see what's going on in Miss Fairmount Crest, honey.
Yes, you do every day. Yeah, and tell me because I miss it so much. You know, I get home from work and I say I'm going to watch. I'm going to go to Paramount Plus and turn it on because I'm about 12 episodes behind now. And then I sit down on the couch and I'm exhausted. Then I have to open the computer and study.
Yes. Well, let's get into some stuff because I really want, first, before we get into all the things of Beyond the Gates, I want people to know you a little bit more. What drove you to be a part of this industry? Because listen, this industry is something else, and I know that you have a lot of knowledge on how this industry is. But what initially drove you to be an entertainer?
Yes. Well, let's see. If we go way back, when I was a little girl, I really have to say my grandmother and my mom, they would put us up at church in front of the congregation, which at that time was super small. And we would sing our little songs and do our little skits. My sister and I, this is the we that I'm referring to, my big sister Tasha. And they would have us perform. My grandmother got me a piano. No, they got Tasha the piano, got me the organ, but I ended up playing both. So my grandmother bought me an organ. That was my very first instrument. And so it was just that time she had me play a polka song at church. And I don't think that went over too well. She just wanted me to play the organ, you know, like, hey, watch, play, baby, show everybody. And they're like, is that a polka song? It's like, doop, 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 doop. And I'm like, what's happening? But hey, I did it. And, you know, I got in the choir. So I've always had this inclination to perform and I've always enjoyed it. And then at the age of 27, I moved to Los Angeles, California from Chicago. And that was 1997, y'all. And I don't care. I'll date myself, baby. I'm proud of my age. Listen, I got to LA and started immediately with TV and film, even though it was the small independent features or the TV sitcoms, whatever. And then plays. And it was the plays to me that really honed my craft, because nothing like getting on a stage in front of a live audience. So when you've had that kind of experience, it just takes you to another level. So I encourage everyone out there that is acting, listen, get on some stages, experience what that's like, feel the organic, amazing energy of being before a live audience and all the crazy things that happen. But yeah, that's how I got started. And I haven't looked back ever since. Now I write and I direct and I produce, and everything that comes along with it, I absolutely love. I just love the entertainment world.
You seriously wear so many hats. Like you said, you're a writer, you're an actress, you've modeled, you produce, you host. Is there anything in this industry that you haven't tackled yet that you're like, okay, this is the next thing I'm gonna go after?
I have a script and I'm prepared to tackle directing and acting in a full feature film.
Yes.
See, I'm all about putting out messages, things that make people walk away, talk about it, think about it, and also want to change.
Yeah.
So back in, oh my gosh, early 2000s, I put up a play that I literally sat down at my desk and I prayed. And I said, God, I want to write something that speaks to the women, especially, that speaks to everyone's hearts, that's funny, not too preachy, has a great message, and that really impacts their lives. And I wrote this play, God gave it to me. 15 minutes later, and I sat there and I was serious. 15 minutes later, I had this urge to pick up the pen and I started to handwrite at this desk. And I literally, for 2 weeks straight, finished this, went ahead, put it up. And afterwards, people would come up to me and say, thank you for your words. I haven't spoken to my mother in 6 months. I'm going to call her right now. Or thank you for writing this play. My brother and I have been beefing. We're mad at each other, but I'm going to call him right now. Because love and forgiveness is huge. You know, it's huge, huge in the success of you as a person, as a soul, as a being. And it's just huge in bringing people together. And I know it's some folks out there that people be like, I don't care what you say, I ain't forgiving them.
Yeah.
What they I know that exists.
Yes.
But how amazing it is when we're able to love and forgive. And so those were some of the messages of that production. And people were like, no, I'm calling my folks right now, because you know what? Time is too short to play games. And we don't have to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised.
That's
Let me
true.
pick up this phone and stop tripping.
Yeah.
Let them know I forgive them, or, thank you for them forgiving me. However it went. Just the fact that happened so often, every time I put that play up, that to me was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
That meant more to me than anything, than the accolades or the people going, oh, Trisha, you did a great job. That's beautiful. But the fact that it impacted lives, like what you're doing. You have a platform, Tony. I'm so proud of you. I don't have to know you to tell you I'm proud of you, babe. It's like what you're doing makes a difference. And you open up a door and an opportunity for other people to be able to speak, to be able to share. And someone out there is listening and going, my God, I needed to hear that today.
Yes.
Change.
Yes. That, I think as performers, as entertainers, as writers and directors, we do want to put work out there that allows people to feel and allow people to connect and understand, a different point of view. Or sometimes, we're sometimes seeking answers about something in our own life, and we watch something and we connect with that and we go, oh, that's what I needed to hear. That's the message that I needed. I feel like, we now have the ability to put that out there. We don't necessarily have to have, the big studios and the big budgets and things like that. We can get our phones, we can get a little camera, we can go live right now and just show our art and show our heart through something. And so, sometimes it's just important. And my friend and I, my good friend James Lott Jr., shout out to James Lott Jr., we both encourage each other. And anytime we have an idea, we look at each other and we just say, do it. Do it. Why not? Why not?
And good for you, because a lot of people procrastinate. Do you know how many ideas are downloaded every day? Do you know how many ideas just drop straight from heaven, and God is like, boom, here's an idea, here's a book, here's a movie, here's a skit, here's an invention. Look, do you know how many things I have invented in my head and they never went further than that, and I look up and they on TV somewhere?
You better pick up that same pen that you used to write that play. Listen, and you better etch out those ideas and then put them on Shark Tank.
Come on.
Come on now.
But listen, before Shark Tank, Tony, do you know that I thought of FaceTime years ago, before FaceTime happened? And FaceTime is just one of the many things that have come to my mind. Yeah. And I saw the whole vision, but
you waited.
I didn't know what to do with it. I just was like, oh, that'd be such a great idea if we could have a phone and see our people on the phone and talk to them, and of course there was the Jetsons and all that. But I literally saw the whole layout for FaceTime, it just like what we have right now. So oh well.
Listen, let this be a lesson for both of us, because there have been some TV shows where I'm like, I had that idea sitting in my little notebook, and there it is. So the lesson we gonna take away today, Trisha, is we got to do it.
Just do it.
Just
don't
do
procrastinate.
It. Don't procrastinate at all.
Ooh, baby, it kills so many dreams and visions and money. Do you know how rich we be right now?
Look, we'll have our 40 acres and a mule already.
We'll have 80 acres and a mule for those
Now, as we've been talking about, you've done, film, TV, and stage. Is there any previous role that you've had that just stands out to you as like, this is the one, whether you knew this is where you were meant to be, or this was the one that you felt like, this is the start of what I've been wanting to do?
Ooh, there are quite a few, but the first one that popped in my head when you said that, I played Tatiana Ali from The Fresh Prince. I played her big sister, and she's lovely to work with, just beautiful. And it was a play where she sang 13 Denise Williams songs, and I think my character name was Portia. It was the first time I was naked before the stage, meaning naked emotionally.
Yes.
And it was the first time I literally let my guards down, and I knew I left the world of acting and I entered the world of being. So I coach students in acting, and I tell them, don't act, be. And so my character was telling her character about an abortion. And I remember it was a very intimate theater, so it was probably less than about 100 seats, but you could really, feel the energy from the audience. And I remember standing there, and before that, I was thinking, oh, there's JoJo showed up over there, and I see Susie Q and Miss So and so. And so I'm on stage and I'm thinking about things I shouldn't be thinking about, wondering who's in the audience. But during this monologue with Tatiana, I started to really focus on what my dialogue was and what my character was saying, and the message to all the women out there that have had abortions and all the sadness that comes with that. And something came over me, Tony, and I started to just let go. And I remember crying, but I also had to learn how to stop the tears.
Yeah, because they'll just keep flowing.
Now you learn how to cry, okay, now you gotta know how to turn it off.
Yeah. Unless you gonna be on stage.
Yeah. I know it's the end of the play, but I still can't get through this. Right. I have seen that happen before with other people. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, reel it in, baby. Come on,
You
reel
gotta,
it in.
you gotta get yourself back down to a even just.
Yeah, just woosah.
Woosah. But no, that's what it is about acting. You're right. People feel like they have to act, and sometimes, you just you pull from what and just live in that moment and be able to convey. So that way, you don't look at a script and go, okay, I know how I'm going to say that line. Do you? Because when you're with the other person can give you something that makes you do it a different way.
You always have to be open for something different. Now, I love our producers because they do allow me to ad lib from time to time. But see, they know they can trust me because they know I'm not going to go too far out of context of the subtext. They're like, okay, we know at least Trisha may throw something in. And there are times when they're like, Trisha, this show is going a little long. So, in other words, they're so sweet about it. In other words, stick to the script. But, because I just, we're not flipping in because stuff comes to me in the moment. But stuff also comes to me as I'm reading the script. I'm like, oh, shoot, but what about this? And so even today on set, they let me get away with something that's so delicious for Leslie. I can't comes out.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's get into Beyond the Gates. Let's get into Leslie because my gosh, Leslie is putting us through it. She is putting us through it. One of the things I want to ask, speaking of ad-libbing, I noticed after a while you started calling Kat Kit Kat. Now, I felt like, and this dawned on me the other day, I said, I bet she calls her Kit Kat because she needs a break from Kat because Kat is doing the most to Leslie. So she's like, I'm going to call you Kit Kat because, baby, I need a break. But was that you or was that in the script, like Kit Kat and Teddy Weddy and all that?
Okay, hold on. I have to really think about, they did say Kit. Okay, I said Kitty Cat.
Kitty Cat.
And they started writing it in more. Yeah. But I know that sometimes they do give a nickname here or there. I have given every single person that I encounter a nickname. So most of those nicknames I have made up. There's a scene I just recently did with Vernon where I was like, Vern. I called him Vern.
Vern.
And now I'm starting to call Anita Auntie Nita. And I don't want to give away too much, but I'm I have pretty much given everybody nicknames, and Ted has about 12 of them. Right. So there's Teddy Boo. I said, I made that up. Teddy Bear, Teddy Weddy. I think they may have written Teddy Weddy. Yeah. Ted, I said Tedster one day. I don't know why I said that. Teddykins. I think they did write Teddykins, but he's got a billion different little names. And I did start calling Nicole Nikki. I did start doing that. Yeah. Call her Nikki or Nick or Little Nikki.
But that's such our culture is so that we will give you a nickname in a heartbeat. Tall Mike that lived down the street.
Come on, Big Mike, Little Mike, G-Pad, G-Dub, T Money.
Exactly.
Right. And Leslie, even though she has her very extremely articulate and eloquent moments, she still got that Chicago edge about her. And so she still can go a little bit, ghetto fabulous on you.
Yes.
So that's what I love about her is she can be so unpredictable, and it's such a fun character. I hate that everyone hates me, but I'm playing a role, and I need people to be able to separate Trisha from Leslie because we're two totally different people.
I just sitting here talking to you, but also being familiar with the soap world, I give you even more kudos because when people dislike your character in the soap world, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I feel like there's a tish of understanding of with Leslie, just a tish. Like we don't hate her that much, but there's a tish of understanding of what she went through
Yeah.
during that time period with Ted. If What was your initial impression of Leslie? Like, you got the script and you're like, oh, like this is
I'm like, who
she's
is this
something else.
crazy chick? Leslie was hurt, but that does not excuse her actions.
Right.
There are some people that are so far gone in their pain, all they can see is red, all they can see is revenge. All they can see is, I'm gonna get mine, or I'm gonna get that man back. Now, me, Trisha, I'm a woman of faith. I'm a woman that, even when I look back on things I've done in the past before I really got myself together, I'm like, oh, girl, if I could go talk to that little girl, that younger Trisha, I'd be like, no, don't do that. That's not cool. I definitely, the me now does not condone or participate in adultery. The me now does not believe that you should ever go and get anybody else's man or do something to harm another person's relationship, because the me now really understands that you reap what you sow. And you don't want to bring that on you, and it's just not correct. When your heart is in a certain place, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you're just a different person. And the love that you have for others, whether you know them or not, stands stronger, and also it affects your decisions, your choices, discernment, all of that you make. So when I look at Leslie, I think this poor soul, this poor broken vessel, this poor woman that just can't come out of her own pain and mess long enough to find herself another man. Because I'm about sick. Listen, I'm about sick of her right now. Because I'm get you another man. Go be found by somebody else. Because you when the most. Ted don't want you.
Want you.
And I don't know where the writers are going with it. I just have to go with the flow. And there are times I read the script and I'm like, oh, she's trying to get him again. Okay. So he can have another door in her face, or he can push her away. It's like, where's her self-esteem?
Yeah. But I was thinking about this. I feel like Ted and Leslie met during a time where they needed someone, and they found each other. And while Ted maybe came to the realization of like, what he was doing was wrong and that he really loved his wife, I feel like Leslie was like, no, but I need you. You gave me something. You rejuvenated, something in me, and I don't want to lose it. And then with having a child as well, it was just, it just made Leslie just go somewhere else, So there are times where you look at her and you go, she might just still be broken, or Ted was so lovable that she don't want to give up on that love.
And I agree with you. I think it's a mixture of all that, including that she has to win. There are just some people, not just women, but men. They just have to be the one to win. They got to keep playing the game until they conquer. And even then, when they conquer, it's still not satisfying, because they had to get it in a way that didn't come natural. They had to force themselves on somebody, or they had to play these games, or, make things bad for someone else to get into that spot. So I do believe that everything you said is true. I believe Ted was so lovable. She had something. She just didn't want to give up. She felt like the only reason Nicole won is because Nicole had money. Nicole had prestige. She had a Dupree name. And it feels like, well, maybe if I was that person, I could have had him back then, and maybe I would have won the game. So sometimes it's like a game to her. It's a divide and conquer. It's crazy. It's madness. It's fun.
Now
fun.
we've discussed that Leslie and Trisha are not the same person at all. But how did you bring her to life? Did you pull from people that you knew to kind of create Leslie? Like, how did you look at her and go, okay, I know how she moves, I know how she talks, I know how she thinks?
And forgive me for smacking my lips, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh no, it's fine. Look, honey, we smacked. What had happened was.
Let me tell you. Okay, let me get my lips together. As I started to play the character, I started to find things, and there are people that I have come across in my life that have had narcissistic tendencies, characteristics. So I know what that looks like, from friends to exes to, family members, to people that I have worked for, done productions for. And when you see that in so many different ways, that narcissist, that is what she is.
Yeah.
Because she's manipulative and it's all about getting her way. So I was able to pull from other people that I've seen in that way. But because I also understand that she's hurt, and I know what that's like to feel pain and hurt and be betrayed, lied to, cheated on, all of that. I was also able to pull from the pain of Leslie from my real life.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is relate to emotions and relate to a character, because when you, as an actor, continuously focus on real life pain, which is called emotional recall, that can become dangerous for you mentally and emotionally. So I'm very careful with that. And I can teach my students, don't focus on emotional recall, focus on relatability, which is something that I just came up with and thought of. Relate to the emotion, because we've all had them. I know, Tony, you've been angry at somebody. I know you probably went off or gone off on someone. I know you've probably had somebody snap off on you. I know that in your life, as young as you are, that you've experienced some things.
I have lived, Trisha. I have lived, honey. Yes. She has lived.
Oh, I can tell, baby. I see it all in your face. But you've experienced some things that if you got on stage with me tomorrow and we said, Tony, we need you to be angry, then we need you to just sit down and cry and feel the hurt and feel the pain, and you understand what the whole context is about, I really believe that you can relate to that.
Absolutely.
That you can be able to convey it. And so that's the way that I operate, whether I'm on stage or TV or film.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned in your intro that you have had to play multiple characters. when you see, each character that you've had to play, I know, and especially in the soap world, because that's fun to be able to play multiple characters, but then you have to. This is someone brand new, so you almost have to give them a different story, a different life, a different background for whatever it is that you're doing. How did you look at each character? Like, first, like the nurse or Sherry, or how did you look at them, or the aunt? How did you embody them, even if it was just for the short time, just to convey what you needed to convey in those scenes?
Now, let me understand. Let me just go back to your question. Are you saying the people, because you said nurse, you took me to Beyond the Gates. You're not talking about the other characters. You're talking about anytime I've played hypothetically a character like that, or are you speaking of the ones in the scenes I'm with?
The ones from Beyond the Gates. I think Sherry was also the nurse as well. Yeah.
I forgot I had all them names. I forgot you were talking about Leslie with Dana and Anna and Sherry and Lulu and geez. Okay, yes. Okay, so that was fun. I really wanted each of them to sound different. I know my phone is not about to die.
You better not die, phone.
Girl, that's my fault. Okay, let's go back to Sherry. So
Yeah.
when I thought about Sherry, I said, Sherry sounds like she's, a little on the low class side. She's got a little rough edge to her. And when they showed me the wig, I was like, yeah, I want Sherry to sound like this. I want
Yeah.
her to have a little bit of, just a little, little something going on. Like she a little hard, just a little rough,
Yeah.
not real hard, but hard enough that she could, get a little gangster with Nikki. You know what I'm saying? Miss Nicole. And so that's how I saw Sherry, and that is the way I tried to play her. I didn't want to go too deep into it.
Yeah.
Anna, to me, was very articulate.
Yes.
Articulate.
Uh-huh.
Think of the articulates on the show.
Yes.
And so Anna is a bit more proper, and she's very careful with her words, and she has a different demeanor and a different stand, and all of that. Now Lulu is just Delulu. Lulu, she is like on a mission to do what she did in the hospital with the poor baby Laura. And so but I gave Lulu a little country accent because I wanted Lulu, oh baby, yes, thank you so much, it's so nice to meet you. And so I did think of that prior to. Who else is it? I'm scared of myself. Wait, who? Dana?
Dana,
Dana
yeah.
and Leslie are technically the same, but Dana is one that fell in love with Ted. We got to remember that. Now, she came to the town as Leslie because he knew her as Dana. No one else knew her middle name, but she was careful. But so Dana and Leslie are the closest ones to each other, and I think another character may come into play at some point.
We wouldn't be surprised because let me tell you, Leslie got a closet full of wigs, honey. So at any point in time, she can be anybody she wants to be.
Yes, she can. Leslie got wigs. I wanted to do I wanted to do Jamaican characters. So I wanted to do New York, Hey, Tony. Yeah, bring that over here. Wait. I'll be working on those accents, Okay. But see, that's the wonderful thing about Leslie is her accents don't have to be perfect because she's such a wonderfully flawed character. She's perfectly flawed, if that makes any sense at all to you, Tony. I know I sound crazy.
No.
But she really is. She's flawed. And so it's like Leslie does not have to have a perfect Jamaican accent or perfect, but just to give you a little something. Yeah, I'd love to have a few of those characters come on.
Listen, I enjoyed when Leslie would put on a wig and would give us a different character. Now, I have to say, the moment that I was talking to the TV and was given a yes, this is what I wanted, was the wig montage. I said, now listen, I don't know who over there at CBS at Beyond the Gates who gave this to us, but this is what we needed. We needed Leslie up in the mirror showing off the new wigs, honey.
No, she was having. Oh my gosh, that scene was so much fun. Now, let me see. Was that the same scene where I put on the Nicole outfit?
That came later.
That was different. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I begged them to let me shoot that over, and they were like, "Trisha, it's fine. You were okay." And I was like, "I really wouldn't do it again. I didn't feel like I did it that great." They were like, "No, it was fine. We if we didn't like something, we wouldn't have moved on." And I'm like, "Okay." And that's where you have to trust your producers. You have to trust all the wonderful people in the control room. They have the eye. You have to trust your director. And just go, okay, it is what it is. And the editor, you got to trust him. And we have some amazing editors. I love them all. Yeah, Charles, and I believe Tony is over there, and Daniel and all them. It's just, this whole team is incredible. Yeah. Amazing. So
now I want to play a little game with you. Because we were talking about all the different characters. We were talking about the wigs. Now we're gonna play a little something called Gettin Wiggy With It. Now I am going to show you some of my collection of wigs, and I want you to give them a name, give them something. I'm gonna let you name my wigs for me. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Now we're gonna start with this one. Just something very sensible. A little bob.
Marva.
Marva.
That is Marva, and she works at the library. Yeah, and she has a crush on this guy named Jerry that comes in. He's very smart, very smart. He gets straight A's. Marva.
Come on, Miss Marva. Okay. All right. Now, what about this one?
Ooh, that is Darian. Darian has a lot going on. Darian's very confused. And Darian is the life of the party, honey. Darian has so much fun, and everybody around. She keeps everybody drinking and laughing. That's Darian. And she drank a little bit before she put that wig on.
She had a little bit. She had a little bit. She the party girl.
Right.
All right. Now, what about this one?
Oh, that's Varnisha.
You didn't hesitate at all with that one.
That's Varnisha right there. Yeah, Varnisha's favorite color is purple. She loves Prince, and she has all the Prince records, and she listens to Let's Go Crazy on a daily. And Purple Rain, of course. That's like her number one. Okay, that's her theme song. She'd be blasting Purple Rain in the car outside the window so everybody can hear it, Yeah, that's what she does. Oh, baby.
Baby. Been loving purple since she came out into this world.
That's right.
All right, so one more. If you'll, I love this. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna write little name tags for all the wigs, and that named by Miss Trisha Mann-Grant.
That's right. Yeah.
Last one is her.
Oh, baby, that's Laquita.
Come on, Laquita.
That's Laquita, and I'll tell you why. Because Laquita was going for Beyonce, but she didn't quite make it. So that all this up here in the front, that's giving you more, Laquita. So her nickname is Qui. And she will curl her hair on the head, at least 2-3 times a week. She wash it maybe every other week, even though her friends tell her they can smell it and that she needs to go ahead and wash it once a week because that's better. She uses VO5 conditioner and shampoo. Don't sleep on VO5 though. I ain't lying.
That VO5 got that
real soft. She used VO5 because she gets it at the Dollar Tree, because the Dollar Tree gives you the best, VO5 product ever. And she actually buys her family VO5 for Christmas. That's everybody's Christmas gift. She put a little bow around it, and in fact, Varnisha, that's her best friend.
Thank you, Trisha. Oh my God, that is a cackle in itself. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go get little name tags for my wigs now. Now they got names. I appreciate that.
I love it. Bring it on.
Now you get to work with Amber Michelle, who plays your daughter Eva. It's such the relationship is so. As a viewer, there are times where we're like, Leslie, girl, that's your daughter. How you gonna do your daughter like that? It's like the stuff that our parents threatened us with, but they never actually went through. Leslie did. Leslie said, "Oh, baby, here go your stuff.
Listen,
I'm gonna need my key back.
Like for real.
And there's the door.
And here's your bag and your box. So
here's your bag. And that's it.
The door. Okay. Yeah. So I got a feeling I know what your question is, but go ahead and ask me anyway.
Oh, how did you build that relationship with her, because it's such a push and pull with y'all, but there's, it's like layered with a foundation of love, but it's also layered with, I see what you're doing, little girl.
Okay, so it's so much I want to say. All right, I gotta say it quick. All right, first of all, I love Amber Michelle, and I love our relationship on camera and off camera. She's amazing, an amazing actress and scene partner, and just person overall. And so I remember when I was 5 years old. This is just Trisha.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a little bit of my mama Carol.
Okay? Miss Carol.
A bit of Carol and Leslie when she get like that. So I told my mama, because she wouldn't let me have something. I said, I'm leaving. I'm running away. And she said, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna help you back. I was like, okay. So she helped me back. Yeah. And walked me to the door and watched me walk down the stairs and walk down the street. Now, of course, things were different back then. You know, it was a little bit safer, especially in our neighborhood, but still, I was 5, y'all. And so maybe was a 6. I don't know. I was 5 or 6. It don't matter.
You were young is the point. Yeah.
And so I'm walking down the street and I'm looking back and I'm like, I know she gonna come get me. And she just stood there like, bye. And I walked all the way to the corner, and then I had enough sense to turn around and come back. But she stayed at that door. And so sometimes when Leslie is being so mean to her, I think of Carol. Carol also was a police officer. My mom, she was a police officer. So when I was 18 and I thought I was grown and everything, and I came up in the house, you know, like what? Yeah, it's after my curfew. And she was laid up in the bed all feeble with the little bonnet on her head and the little nightgown, just looking all sickly. And she said, don't you come in my house this late again. Do you understand me? And I was like, and within 2 seconds, I was on the floor in a headlock. With my arm behind my back like a criminal. Staring at the door, being straight chewed out in one ear, and going, wow, how did I get here? And this will never happen again. Because I forgot.
And Miss Carol reminded you. She said, baby, you in my house.
She reminded me, right? So when people say things like, what kind of mother, these are folks that don't understand old school raising. The belt, so to stand in the corner and hold one leg up and hold the books because you did something you weren't supposed to do. Oh no, we had medieval whoopings back in the day. To switch from the tree. Oh yeah, I come from the straight old school. So
you and me both.
Listen, mamas back then didn't play. Mamas now, I don't know what the heck is going on, but you know, I think I turned out quite fine. I'm an angel, yes. And so now that's where I put into Leslie. Now, let's go to Leslie and think about what really happened, because I think people forget this. Her very own flesh and blood that was in cahoots with her against the Dupree, including her daddy, flipped the script on her and stabbed her in the back and looked out for them. So let's think about Leslie, the character. First of all, we know she's unhinged. We know she ain't wrapped too tight. She got some special things going on. All right. She's already on this mad mission against them. And then her own baby, the only one that she can trust, whom was in on the plan all the time, turns on her. Now, granted, she was correct to do the right thing. We get that. But I need y'all to step into cuckoo Leslie mind and think about this for a minute. Leslie was pissed.
Oh yeah.
She was very angry. So in that scene where I put her out and I didn't shed a tear, I chose not to. Even though I fought it emotionally because of the sensitive side of Trisha. But I fought that and I was like, nope, she's going to be stern. She's going to be angry. And she's mad at what her daughter did. And as you see, we're coming back around, and she does love her daughter. And for everyone that wants to know, yes, she is my daughter. Unless down the road, the writers decide to flip the script. But right now, as of now,
Yes.
into episode, let's see, we're shooting episode 156 or something. You guys are probably watching what, 70 something? I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are still way back
We
there,
back. Yeah.
way ahead. She's still my daughter.
Right. Because there, let me tell you, some people will put some theories out there,
I know.
like, okay, and
Yeah.
I read them like, okay, maybe, but let's just be, like I always say, a fan with open arms, and
Yeah.
just see what the writers want us to. Let's enjoy their ride.
Right.
We don't have to put our theories out there just yet.
Let's
Let's just see what happens.
let's see what happens. But you know
Yeah.
what? I love some of these theories. I
Yeah.
have some very interesting theories. Like people are like, maybe Kat's her daughter, and
Yep.
she took the baby at birth. And I'm like, I really need y'all to think about this. I just need y'all to stop and think about it for a second. I'm not even gonna go down that road right now. With
See,
you
that's
talking
that.
about you know
That's
what I'm
that.
saying.
That's that
It's
soap brain. That soap brain coming in, and they like, okay, I got it. See, that
right.
ain't even her child. See, they was in the same house because they too close in age. Why they keep talking about their age? So I bet that Cat is actually because Leslie is the one that's no, Cat is the one that's running around here doing all the. That ain't Eva. Eva over there trying to be their sister. I bet they switched. You know, that's
Right.
how the soap fans.
I'm like, come on. Or the ones that will watch maybe the last 10 episodes and they know everything about all of us, but they haven't watched from the beginning, so they don't understand. Y'all got to go back to the beginning now. Go back to the
Yes.
root
Yes.
and watch from the very first, so that you can see all the different things that come out from day one about each character and what's happening. So
Yes. Which is
yeah.
available on Paramount Plus in case you need to go back.
Right, Paramount Plus, y'all.
Mhm.
It's okay, you can get it. I subscribed.
I ain't gonna tell you how I got it, but
Oh, I don't even want to talk. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Then imagine.
when we talk about old school
Yes.
old
Oh
school
yeah.
way of getting
Oh,
stuff. Yeah.
listen. I understand. Yes. Oh man.
Now, speaking of just, I want to ask this because I don't want to keep you too long because baby,
You're fine. I'm
we'll
having
talk
fun, honey. I
we'll
ate
talk
already.
this whole time. Oh, good.
Listen, I ate before the interview because I
See,
knew if I was hungry while we were talking, this
it
would
was.
have been over about 30 minutes ago. So listen, I'm just telling you, I'm good. So let's have fun.
How was it the monologue of the reveal and being at Nicole and Ted's anniversary party and standing there looking amazing
Oh,
and having to just unleash and unravel and as an actor, I know we crave those moments. We want
yeah.
that moment. How was that for you to be in that moment, to settle into Leslie, to everything that has it's built up to this moment? How
Mhm.
was that for you?
Listen, that was probably the most unnerving day of my
Mhm.
life because it wasn't just one monologue. It was just one after another. And so I remember, I believe it was Steven that directed that.
Mhm.
He's not, I love all the directors, by the way. They're amazing. And so Steven says, okay, I want you to say this to Ted. Look over at Nicole and turn back to the girls and then walk over to Smitty and Martin, but don't block them. Make sure you stand here, but make
Yeah.
sure you're in between Cat while you're saying this, okay? And then you'll look over and see Eva, but you walk toward Eva, but make sure that you keep going, go over to the girls while you're saying this line and that line and blah, 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 blah. And he's giving me all this direction and my head was like, woo, woo.
Uh-huh.
My head was spinning and I'm like, okay, because you're so focused on trying to remember these lines.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you have to add blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember, I got to go here on that and go there on that. And then on top of that, Tony, you have to stay in character. and you have to emote all of the intensity that comes with the highs and lows of your dialogue. Look, I'm not complaining. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. It's such a challenge. It's so amazing to be able to express all that. But how was it? It was
Yeah.
a relief when I was done.
Yeah. That was one of those ones where you're like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus! I
It's like,
made it
thank you, Lord.
through. I made it
Thank
through."
you. And I'll be honest, there was a moment there, and I believe it was in the very last piece about Bill, where I just kind of, I had some brain farts, so we had to, do it a couple of times or do some, or they were like, okay, Trisha, let's pick up, maybe I dropped a line here or there. But thank God again for, the editors. But that was a lot. And also trying to process what was going on. But I did feel everything as I was saying the dialogue. I felt the pain with being toyed with by Ted. I felt the in your face with everybody else that I was getting kind of funky and cutesy with, and smart with. And then when I told the girls about their dad, Bill, there was an anger, and there was also this very emotional Bill. And I'm visualizing in my head that this man actually threatened my child.
Yeah.
And me, Trisha, as a mother, like for any mother out there, to even think of the audacity of someone threatening to harm your baby just because you or they exist, or you're somewhere you shouldn't be because they warned you and told you and bullied you. And also the bullying thing. I dealt with being bullied a lot in my life, growing up. I mean, I had to fight. Me and my sister had to fight our way through school all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You think you cute? No, you think I'm cute, but no, you think you got long hair. Because my grandmother was a beautician and a mortician, so she took care of the live
dead folks' hair and the live folks' hair.
people at night, and so she would massage and grew our hair down our back, and of course we jacked it up as we got older and started cutting and coloring and all that stuff. But it's like, you fight and fight, and you're being bullied, and then to do a scene where I'm expressing how this man bullied me and then threatened my child, and I am naturally a mama bear. Like, I do not play that.
Yeah.
I'm a bear all day long with my kids. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I felt it all as I was saying it all. It was not a pretend. It was like, oh, here's a real moment, and here's a real moment. I was drained afterwards in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say, I mean, and I can't say it enough, just amazingly talented. And the way that you bring Leslie to life, the journey that we've been on with her, I mean, it couldn't have happened without your talent and your dedication to the character. So I want to thank you, not only from myself, but also I'm sure the fans as well, for playing this character and playing her authentically and having us understand her, even in the moments where we're like, child, I can't stand Leslie. She get on my artery, which is past my nerves. But
my nerves too sometimes.
Yeah. But we greatly appreciate you. So thank you for just the talent and for Leslie and everybody else she gonna play.
Yeah, I know, right? How many more names?
Right.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Now I do have to say, because my mama is watching.
Okay.
And my mom watches Beyond the Gates as well. And actually, when I was back home, we caught up on Beyond the Gates together. And so she texted me and she said, "Tell her she is amazing, and I don't care what they say. She is playing that role well." So that comes from my mother, Mama Moore, as they call her. So
I love it. Tell Mama Moore I thank her from the bottom of my heart, and she's amazing too. And tell her I'm proud of her for having such a great son that is doing amazing things. So thank you, Mama Moore. Hugs and love to you. And my sister's last name is Moore.
Uh-oh.
into the more families. So, we might be cousins or something.
We might be. We might have to go on that ancestry.com just to see if we linked up somehow. Next thing you know, I'm like, y'all, I'm related to Trisha Mann-Grant.
That's
Like
right.
we done crossed over.
We done crossed over. We be in-laws, but we crossed
But
over.
crossed over. But
Yeah.
Trisha, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming on today. This has been such a joy for me to be able to sit and chat with you, and to also allow fans to get more insight into you, but also into the work that you put in as Leslie. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. God bless you, hon, and all.
Oh.
I hope to see you soon.
Yes, absolutely. I know where I want to see you. I want to see you at the daytime Emmys. That's where I want to see you
from
at.
your lips to God's ears, I believe and receive. Amen.
Let's do it all the way up to the main line. And
bye,
I want to
everybody. God bless you. And thank you all for watching the show.
Thank you, Trisha. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my interview with Trisha Mann-Grant. And don't forget, you can watch Beyond the Gates on every day, Monday through Friday on CBS, or you can check it out the next day on Paramount Plus. We will see you very soon. And just as always, we're giving you more, please. Okay.